Hello everyone, my name is Dan, and in this video I will cover how to quickly create and deploy a dynamic website with React and Vite. To install this, we're going to go ahead to Node.js. You'll see a download link for the long-term service version. So just go ahead and install this for your Windows, Mac, or Linux operating system and follow the instructions. Once you've installed Node.js, to make sure it's working correctly, go ahead and type node-version in your terminal. And you can also type npm-version to make sure the npm package manager is also working. In this example, we're going to go ahead and use a tool called Vite to scaffold our project structure. You can head to vitejs.dev to go to their website and get the instructions. We're going to go and click Get Started. If you scroll down to scaffolding your first Vite project, you'll see commands to run from the command line using npm to get started. I'm going to continue using the node package manager, npm, but you can also use yarn or pnpm as alternative package managers. It's going to prompt you to install some dependencies. Go ahead and hit yes. We'll create a project name. In this case, we're going to go ahead with the default Vite project, and I am going to select React. Vite is also compatible with many other front-end frameworks and also Vanilla.js. In this example, I'm going to use JavaScript. I think TypeScript is a great choice, but perhaps not for an educational video such as this. Let's follow the next steps it recommends. We're going to change directory into the folder it created for us by using change directory Vite project. Once in that folder, we're going to run the next command, npm install. There we go, npm install. This might take a little while to run as it installs all the package dependencies. The last command it suggested is npm run dev. So what this will do is it is going to run a script called dev that is in the package.json. I go ahead and open package.json. These are the files that this project created. You'll see the dev script here. And so the command is actually, it's just going to run Vite in the CLI. If we run this command, npm run dev, this will launch our development server. And if everything has worked correctly, we should follow the instructions and be able to navigate to the development server. Okay, by clicking, if I control click on this link it provided, I will get the working development server or the existing boilerplate website. It has links to vitejs.dev and reactjs.org. It is demonstrating this is an interactive website, so you have some state that is incremented as you click this count button. And here are instructions that if you edit app.jsx, you can save this and changes will be shown live. Here I've gone and opened app.jsx that's in the source folder. Let's go ahead and look at the contents. Here on line 5 is our app component. We have some state. So variables that let us reference the number and then adjust this number and then update the DOM elements in real time. We see some JSX, which is very similar to HTML. We see image tags for our two images. We see a header for our Vite and React, and some buttons to interact with it. We'll demonstrate we can edit this by changing the header here to the example project, and if we save this file, it immediately updates in the web page on the right. Something else we can do is probably copy our code here and duplicate this button. We scroll to the right. You can change this second button to a decrement button and then have it reduce the count by 1. So we've added the -1 here and we've changed the button text. So if we save this, you'll see that it's added a second button on the right. And by clicking this, the count will go down. By clicking the original button, the count will go up. And even though we've made changes, the state is preserved, which is one of the nice features of the hot module reload. So if instead of Vite, you were using something like Create React App, that would automatically come with Jest for testing components. In our case, we can very easily add Vitest. If you head over to vitest.dev, you can click Get Started and you'll get instructions on what to do. The first thing we'll do is run npm install as a developer dependency. Back in our project, we can run npm install-d vitest. And let's see how this goes. So that installed successfully with 0 vulnerabilities. And come back into our project.json or package.json. We can add a test command, which will just run the program Vitest. We open up a terminal, we can run the command npm run, actually npm run test. That'll run our script with the Vitest, and let's see how that does. All right, the main takeaway here is that we don't have any test files yet, and so it gave us an error. Let's go ahead and create a test file. In your source folder, you can go ahead and create a new folder called test. Within there, you can create a new file. We can call it anything we want, but we can call it example.test.jsx. First thing we'll need to do in our test file is to import describe and it from Vitest. We can create a describe block that will contain one or more tests. Within our describe block, we'll create our individual test cases. We'll give it a name, and then we'll give it a callback function. And in this example, we can put in some content in for this test just to see if it works, make it real simple. Now let's rerun our npm run test command. Okay, it looks like it worked. It picked up our test passes, and it enters watch mode automatically, so you'll have to hit Q to quit. Just to sanity check myself, I like to make sure that my tests fail at least once so they're working as expected. I'm going to rerun the npm run test command. It's going to find the tests again, and in this case, yes, it did fail as expected. And it indicates what was the expected value and then what was the actual value received. I'll go ahead and change that back to the correct values. And then now when I hit save, it automatically reran the test. We want to test actual full components or pages. That's a little more involved, but what we'll want to do is add React testing library to our Vitest config. If you need to, you can go to testinglibrary.com and check the docs for React testing library. I might cover that in another video, so stay tuned. Now let's talk about building and deploying our project. We're back in the terminal in our project. What we can do is run npm run build. This will run the build command that is in our package JSON, which is the VITE build or the vite build command. It ran real quick. It has put it in the dist folder. You'll now see our project has a dist folder. If you go in there, you'll see the index.html and an assets directory. All right, the next step, once we've built our application, and we have that dist folder, we're going to open up our project in a file explorer. We're going to locate this dist folder here that we're going to need. And then in a web browser, we can go ahead and go to netlify.com and let's log in with our account. Okay, so once you're logged in with your account, you want to go to the sites tab. And here you can click add a new site, deploy manually. And then you'll get this window to drag and drop your site output folder. This is the dist folder we were talking about here. Go ahead and drop it, and you'll get a little swaggy, nice animation that your app is currently being deployed. And then once it's complete, you have this automatically generated URL that is running our React application. If you need to update your site, what you can do is come back here into Netlify. Go to the, once you're there, go to the deploys tab. And again, you have a drag and drop or browse to upload where you can rebuild the app and then drag the dist folder back into that little area. All right, that's the end of the video, folks. Thanks for watching. If you stuck around, to just quickly recap the topics we covered, we installed Node.js in our system, following the instructions for whether you're on Windows or Mac or Linux. We set up a project with React and Vite to quickly get some boilerplate code working. We modified the example code with a change of the HTML, and we added some more interactivity with an additional button that modified the existing state. We briefly added a testing utility so that we could do unit tests on our logic. I directed you to React testing library if you are interested in testing whole components. And then we deployed our site to Netlify, which you can do for free with just dragging and dropping after you've built the application using npm run build. You can drag that dist folder over to your Netlify site, and away it goes. And you can use that same process to update it. Thanks again for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.